Hola, ¿qué tal, gente? Estamos de regreso con nuestros chicos de Santos Bravos. Voy a ver el video que subieron anoche de la canción 0%. Es el debut visualizer. Así que no, it's not a full music video, but it's kind of just like the members that made it are in singing the song in this junkyard, which we saw like the making of the video. But before I get to that, I just want to talk a little bit about yesterday, the whole fiasco with the announcement and everything. I know I mentioned it in my previous video, but I feel like I was still like formulating all my thoughts. But today, after thinking more about it, I feel like I have an idea of what happened, what went wrong. So I know I've mentioned it a couple of times on the comments, but I just want to mention it here as well. I honestly think that personally, I would have loved for them to be announced like one at a time, and then for them to like walk out on stage and be congratulated. Yes, I get that it would have been tough for the other 5 that didn't make it to be on stage as well and see them not make it inside, like into the group. But I feel like they should have announced it and have them walk down stage and like then like showcase like all the 5 members and like finished. I feel like they should have finished with the announcement and just like a big celebration and then everybody joining them on stage and congratulating them. So you didn't see visibly like the reactions of like, oh my god, I didn't make it, but you could see that they were happy for the other members, right? I don't think they should have made them go straight into like performing their song, especially if they're gonna drop the visualizer. Because personally, I don't think that they were emotionally ready to be performing live already as a 5-member group. I'm sure they practice at the different lineups, but one thing is practicing, another thing is like being live in front of like thousands of people. You just found out you debuted and that your other members, your other friends didn't make it, so you're trying to like put on a good performance. Your emotions get the best of you if you're not like that trained in compartmentalizing. So I do feel like that's what's happening with a little bit with like Gabby and even with Kenneth, because Kenneth, you could see that he was like trying not to cry. Obviously Drew and Ale and even Kai are able to control it a little bit better because they have more experience performing like on their own. And Drew, obviously, he's been on stage before with like, even if it's just like with a backup, being a backup dancer. But I also think what went wrong during this is what I feel like was their idea of how they were going to announce it, which would have been cool too, even though I still don't agree they should have performed live right away. It would have been cool, like, obviously, this is what I think they had planned. Lights dark, all of a sudden we see on stage we see 5 silhouettes. You don't know who it is because it's in the dark, you just see silhouettes. Obviously, so obvious that Kenneth was in because he was the smallest one. You'd have to be like a little dumb not to realize that was Kenneth. But 5 silhouettes, and I think what they wanted to do is, you see how the lights are flickering? At one point, there was like focus to specific members when we saw Ale, we saw Kenneth, we saw Kawe, we saw Drew, we saw Gabby, like fully visible. I feel like they were gonna say like, you were gonna hear the voiceover from Pame from backstage, like, ahora después lo que todos están esperando, les queremos presentar a los miembros de Santos Bravo, Alejandro, Kawe, Drew, Gabby y Kenneth. Bienvenidos Santos Bravos. And then the music was supposed to cue up and they would have gone into 0%. However, if you guys remember, they showed the clip of, I think what the sound messed up when they went to showing the visual clip of like the little drama that they filmed. When they were trying to get back into getting the audio for like the live audio for like their mics, sound system messed up. Like they couldn't get out of the audio that was connected to the video, like the audio that was connected to the feed for like the stream. They couldn't disconnect if something happened there, because even when Dana was trying to talk to Pame, like, do you hear me? Pame was like you couldn't hear her mic, she couldn't hear her ears. So I feel like that messed up the whole situation, because then Pame wasn't able to give the cue to the guys. So that's why they just stood there for the longest time with like lights flickering and like smoke, and like everybody was confused, like, is that how they're announcing it? What is happening? I feel like during that time, everybody was trying to still figure out the sound, and then they said like, go ahead with it, just cue the music. And then once they heard the music, it was like on their ears, go in 3, 2, and they started singing because that's what they had to do. But I feel like that's why when they got panned to, when they finally got the spotlight, they looked like, they didn't look excited. They looked more like confused because had practiced it one way, and it wasn't how they were told it was gonna go happen. That's my theory of how the announcement was supposed to happen. But since the sound system failed, apparently for the members that were in the audience, like all the crowd that was in the audience, they could barely hear them either. So it was just a sound system failure all along. And I don't think that's Hive's fault. That's more the fault of the production team on the ground. Like whoever they hired to do the sound crew, they failed, you know? Like usually if the sound and like people that are backstage and the artist can say like, my mic isn't working, like pick up my mic, they're able to fix it. But for some reason, the sound crew that was there wasn't able to do it. They got flustered or something. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the whole, how anticlimactic that announcement was. Like, I feel like they should get a do-over because like the moment was stolen from them, like for them to be happy and excited. It was just like, okay, sing. And they were like, okay. And then cut the feed, cut the cameras. And like, you didn't get to see them reacting and congratulate each other or even interact with the other members and get them like say goodbye, you know, and for them to say bye to the audience. It was so weird. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the visualizer for the debut group, which we had seen like little clips of them filming it. Obviously this is with the 5 members that made it. Obviously we're gonna get the audio from what they recorded in the recording session. 0%, pero no pasa nada. Let's go. Está el celular. There's Drew, Gawe, Ale, Kenneth, Gabby. Okay, like, I'm sorry, Kenneth to me is like too young for me to buy like that lyric. Like, que me diga bebé, que te ves más bonita, feliz. Like, a 15-year-old calling me bebé, I'm like, maybe for like the girls that are around his age range, sure. But I was in a comment, it's so funny in the beginning, you can tell Gabi, which is a good thing, because if he ever lip syncs, you can spot it right away, but he's not very good at lip syncing. Also, why is Kenneth at the wheel? He doesn't have a license. And I love Alice's little sparkly pants. This is one thing that I hate that they do for when people debut, when groups debut. I don't know, well, I do know, but I hate that they throw the auto-tune in there. Like, let their vocals shine. Let the fans hear why they were selected. If you're saying like, I chose this group because of their charisma, their star quality, their dance, and their vocals, let me hear their actual vocals. Like, don't throw auto-tune in there to like try to fix any errors, because it might fix it for the people that still have a little bit like pitch problems, but for like Gawe and like Ale, singers like them, it takes away from their vocals, their vocal talent they already have naturally. Like, I feel like it makes them sound, it doesn't make them sound as good as they naturally are. And I don't like when they do auto-tune in the like the very first debut track. It's like, what are you hiding already? Like that doesn't sound like Kawe at all. Like it sounds so auto-tuned, and that's because Kawe's vocals are like the note he's reaching is like higher up pitched. So it sounds robotic. Like they're not letting his vocal shine. And to me personally, when I was listening to the track on my own, on my way to work and on my way back, like I had to really tune in to figure out whose vocals were whose, especially between Drew and Kawe, and even Gabi and even Gabi and Alejandro's. Sometimes they sound similar. Like, why do you do that? I don't like the autotune. Like the song is catchy. The song is catchy, but I don't think they should have done the autotune. See right there, like the segue from Kenneth to Kawe to Ale, from Kenneth to Kawe to Gabi, you can barely hear the note, the like vocal differences because of the stupid auto-tune. Like the way that Kawe was singing in his lower register, it almost blended into Kenneth's vocals. Like it sounded like it was Kenneth, and you're like, oh no, wait, I can tell it's Kawe. And then it sounded like Kawe, and you're like, oh no, wait, it's actually Gabi. Like I don't like that they blend into each other. I want there to be like a distinction so you can hear specifically who's singing. And like right here, I can barely tell who's singing the main line. I can only tell because I see Drew, and then I'm like, yes, I can distinguish Drew's little specific pitch. It could also be Gabi, you know, they make them sound the same. And I think it's really interesting the choices in the backup dancers. If you guys notice, Drew, he's the oldest. He has the two girls, and then Kawe, he has like the one girl and the one guy. Gabi has like the one guy and the one girl. I like his outfit, by the way, his styling. Also, that little step, I'm trying to remember who I've seen it on. I've either seen it on Le Seraphim or on Cat's Eye. Like that little hand and like kick. Like, it would have sounded so much better with that auto-tune. No tengo videos. You know, they took out that soul. That's what it is. It's very poppy and catchy, but I don't like the metallic sound of the song. They took out the soul. Cero por ciento. Um, I like the beat, don't get me wrong. The song is super catchy. I love that they let Ale have his style back. I love the sparkly pants, you know, they're very popular right now. I feel like the styling for here actually was good. But still, as much as I love Kenneth, he still looks so young next to all of them. He still looks like a little kid, like hanging with his big bros. So we'll see what happens. We'll see like what they end up doing sound wise when they release their first like album, when they record more singles, because obviously this arrangement was made to like fit everybody's voices that was still there, like the 10, so they would sound similar, and so it would be easy to just like edit it for the final 5 and the same like for the video. So I love the song, it's super catchy. I like the lyrics. I like the fact that basically they're saying like, my phone's at 0%. I don't have any videos of tonight, but I'm not gonna forget it, and this is where I want to be. And I also like the line where it says like something about like people are gonna hate, people are gonna talk, but you know, you just gotta let them be. Like, don't let that bother you. Just brush it off, because people are gonna do what they're gonna do. You know, if they want to hate, they're gonna hate, no matter how much you tell them not to hate. But I like this lineup. I know you guys, as usual, like I mentioned, it's just Kenneth looks so young. He looks like a baby. He looks literally like a Magne. So yes, hopefully we'll see what else they have planned. I know they're like on their way to Miami, or they're in Miami already doing like press and interviews. So I'm curious, and I'm a little excited also that now that they're in the States, if they're gonna get the Hive treatment where they get to collaborate with other Hive artists to get like launched to their respective, like widen their fan base. Personally, that's what I love about the Hive groups, that they all support each other, whether it's the company that makes them or not. I feel like their connections, when you see them back like behind the scenes doing the recording the challenges, they're very what's the word I'm looking for? They're very genuine. They actually like get along with each other. There's no like rivalries between Hive artists and Hive groups, and they support each other. That's why literally within the Hive tree branch of all the labels and all the groups, they could just do challenges with each other without having to go to like other labels, like other companies, to do challenges, because they're always like supporting each other. So I'm excited that they're in Miami, that they're in the States, because you don't know if we're gonna get them like get an interaction with Cordes, get an interaction with Cat's Eye. They're doing like the dance challenge for 0%, so they would definitely be able to do like, can you imagine like Daniela doing this choreo? Oh my gosh, that Daniela and Sofia doing this choreo, that would look so good, especially my girl Daniela, Latina Mami. Because recently also like they just posted, Cat's Eye just did like a collab with Cordes. So I love that they're always like interchanging within the groups, especially when they have comebacks. They're like supporting each other, doing each other's challenges, because that gives them more visibility to other fans within the Hive branch, which I already saw from like watching the showcase. That's what I'm calling it. From watching the showcase yesterday, I saw a lot of Hive fans that were in the audience. How do I know that? Because like I mentioned, I saw light sticks from ARMY, BTS fans, from Carrots, 17 fans, from Engine and Hyphen fans, Moas, TXT fans. So like us as like coming, especially me, I'm coming from already being a fan of like other Hive groups. We are kind of like preset to support other Hive artists and like help them and hype them and stuff if we see the talent there, you know. There's only like rare occasions where it's like, oh, why? I'm not going to talk about that here. So I feel like that's the advantage that they have, like even though if it's Hive Latin America, they have that advantage that it like they will get the support from fans from other Hive groups, because they're like, they want to see the group succeed. They see the talent, they want to see them succeed. And a lot of us have been watching the show for the past, like I think it was 2 months that it aired, so we're still supporting. Obviously, you know, if you're still watching this, even though like your favorites didn't debut, you know, if Pablo, Yanis, Lucas, Leo didn't debut, hopefully you're still able to support the group that debuted. And if not, that's okay. You know, if this was your last like experience supporting Santos Bravos, if your journey ends here, that's totally fine. You know, all that we ask is that just like be respectful of the fans that are staying and the group members that are staying, because everybody obviously earned their spot in this group and they were selected for a reason. But anyways, I'm so excited to see what else they have in store, what else they're gonna be showing us, like how long we're gonna have to wait until we get more music, more information from them, more news. I'm really curious what the fandom name is gonna be called. But anyways, as always, let me know what you guys thought, and I'll see you next time.